Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.
Desde Australia tenemos sonidos que llegan de esta propuesta musical que nos entrega Tori bajo el nombre de Maple Glider. Está próxima a mostrar su placa debut con este nuevo proyecto y enlazamos a través de esta videollamada para que nos platique los detalles. Hola, Tori.
Hola.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Where are you right now?
I am sitting in my bed in Melbourne, in Australia.
It's sorry, it's a little crazy. How can we connect in an instant nowadays, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's awesome though.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
loving it.
Because we are living days that we can have a lot of contact with another people or being in a bar or a pub or something, but we are just one click away from another people.
I know, it's so awesome. It's like been really really beautiful having chats with people over Zoom that I might not have met for like such a long time.
Yes,
So
yes.
good.
It's one way, and it's absolutely great that we can connect in this chat because you are releasing the new album from Maple Glider just a few weeks away, right?
Yeah.
How you feel, Tori?
Sorry?
How you feel with the launch of the album?
Oh, so good. I feel so ready. Yeah, I really loved the experience of recording this album. And I'm just excited to be able to share it with people. And yeah.
I read, Tori, that you lived in the UK for some time, and after that you returned to Australia. What do you learn during this process of changing not only from city but country and continent?
It was the first time I'd been away for that long, like away from family and good friends, I guess. And it was sort of like a time period that I wanted to have a break from music and reassess whether I was really, really wanting a music career. And I found that when I was there, I was just like writing music almost constantly. I was like couldn't be apart from it. And I spent a lot of time. It was pretty cold. I moved like during winter, so I didn't. I wasn't going out much. I was kind of like inside, and yeah, I really, really connected with music again, and in this kind of new way. And it made me really excited about coming home and like working on it even more and sharing that with people, and that's kind of where the album sort of originated. It was just like me being overseas, trying not to do music and do other things, but like falling too madly in love with songwriting again that I couldn't help myself.
It's crazy, Tori, because sometimes in order to be close to something or to someone, we need to be apart, to take some time to enrich our knowledge about something or someone. That happened to you? Do you find something new in songwriting that you need to have in your life?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'd been like in a collaborative project before this one. And we were kind of like going down this two separate paths. I think we had different ideas of like what we wanted from the music, but also from the music industry and our experiences. And I guess I felt like quite disconnected from myself towards the end of that project. And so I needed to have space again to just like figure out, who like reconnect with myself, like with my mind and body, and like just what was important to me and what was valuable to me, and like also just that experience as a whole kind of opened me up to music as something that I could just enjoy again, like something that didn't need to have an outcome, that like didn't have to involve other people, and it could just be like a way of processing things and like understanding my experiences and just like getting in touch with myself. And that is what music is to me, and that's what's so important and for me about music, and what's so beautiful about sharing it, because you're literally sharing like these deep, intimate like things that you've come to realize about yourself or whatever. And like for me, it's kind of like putting out that process is like what a song is. It's like that process of unraveling my brain. So that kind of like made me excited again, because the only show I played in England was actually, I'd been working in a cafe, and right before I left, they asked me to play some songs in the cafe. And so they were closed at nighttime, and there were maybe like 15 people there. And I played these songs, and I just felt this huge rush of emotion and just cathartic release. And I was like, I need to be doing this.
I know you find the answer, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think having that just really set me up to work on Maple Glider and make it into the project that I wanted it to be, and begin to understand what I love about making music and how I wanted to go about it again. And yeah.
Saying that, I found a lot of these things in your songs, a lot of emotions, a lot of connections with yourself, and also the sound of Maple Glider with this folk music with the acoustic guitar and piano. It's even more emotional.
Yeah, I love guitar.
You compose with guitar or with piano?
With both.
Both. And what do you prefer?
I think it's, I don't like saying prefer, but like guitar is my first love. Like guitar is something that I just always come back to. Like it feels so comfy.
Yes.
I'm feeling a certain way and I'm like, and I grab my guitar and I can just play, and I just feel like calmer in a way, and like more just, it's like feels like a meditative experience sometimes picking up that instrument. And piano I've really deeply connected to at certain periods of time. Like I once was lucky to have a piano in my room, and I would play piano every morning when I woke up. It would be like the first thing that I did, and that was like such a good way to start the day, because I just like kind of like relax into this space before approaching anything else. And I think like piano is something I want to get into again and play like even more of, because like the more you play any instrument, the more you connect to it, and the more you kind of delve into it, and the more new things you find, and like that's when songs happen, because you just like you're in that, you create that space for yourself.
And for the record, who do you work with to make this new sound? Because of course there are guitars and piano, but there's a lot of instrumentation in your songs.
Yeah, Tom Janzek is the producer, and he's in a band in Melbourne called Big Scary and Number One Dads. And he's really beautiful. He's an awesome musician, and just like super just like a super sensitive and like perceptive kind of like arranger. So he's just like he was really gentle with all of the songs, and like kind of helped place everything like really suitably to all of the compositions, so that it was like lifted to this place that I can't even imagine that I would be able to do on my own. It was just really special to do that with him. And also Jim Rindfleisch was the drummer, and he's in a band called Mild Life over here. And he's just he's a hilarious dude, but just like this really, really, really good drummer. Like, so it was epic.
It's great to can make this dialogue with another musician and with a producer in order to create a good song, a good album, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah.
Because it's harder than that we imagine, because it's someone else trying to understand what you're trying to say, and maybe when he change or turn the song in something else, you maybe don't like it. I don't know. It's a little tricky, a little hard, but at the end, the song it's the most important thing of the process.
Definitely. And if you develop a good communication with that person, like, I think that's the main part of it, is like, obviously you have to connect on a personal level, and you have to connect with their music and their style of arranging or production. But like, if you form a good and open communication space where you like, Tom was constantly like, how do you feel about this? Is this what you were envisioning? Like, is this like, do you have anything to say? Like what, blah, 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 blah. And like, I was the same, and like, this is what's important to me for this song. This feeling is like, what I want to create. Like, I don't think these drums work, or, like, just kind of being able to establish that beautiful dialogue is like what creates, I think, a beautiful open space where everyone feels free to try things without judgment. But ultimately, like, you're all in there just to like, make something beautiful together. And I think it's unrealistic to think, some people do it actually. Tom produces his own records and whatever. But like, I'm not the kind of person that's out there trying to do everything. Like,
Cool.
For me, my favorite part is like songwriting, and like having those songs and, connecting with the instrument. I'm not trying to be, I don't need, at this point in my career, I don't need to be producing all of my music or whatever. I'm very happy to like lean into that collaboration, because like, so many new ideas and like different perspectives are also brought into it, which I have found really beautiful in making this album, is like actually having to communicate what the song means to you and what it's about. And in doing that, you actually learn a lot about yourself, I think, as a person and as an artist. And that was a beautiful part of the process of making this album.
How hard was for you to show a lot of emotions or emotions you had during your life in the album? Because in the songs we have listened, we can find these human emotions that maybe have part of you, being part of you in some part of your life. It's hard to express that, to play this emotion in front of someone else.
Sometimes, but to be fair, no, I actually find that part of it quite easy. Maybe I'm just a really emotional person, but I love the feeling of kind of sinking back into that emotion or that experience. And maybe it's not, maybe I'm taking that particular experience and that emotion, and I'm like relating it to a more current experience, and I'm injecting that emotion into that song. But the feeling of music is really what helps me to connect to it, and it's also what drives me to write it. And if I'm not feeling that way when I'm performing music, then I won't want to I won't I wouldn't have recorded those songs, if that makes sense. Like,
Yes,
if I wasn't,
yes.
if I
Yes,
wasn't
absolutely.
genuine about it, then I wouldn't have recorded those songs. But because I can connect to them, is why I wanted to share them.
Yes, it's some cathartic experience, right?
Yeah, of course. I think like it will be hard. Like, I'm sure at some points it's going to be hard, but right now, no.
Tori, the name of the album is "To Enjoy Is the Only Thing." And what things do you enjoy the most in this period of your life? Besides music, of course, I figured that you enjoy music, but beside that, what do you enjoy the most in this period?
I love bushwalking. Bushwalking is awesome. Being out amongst trees, big trees, Swimming in the ocean is one of my favorite things. Being in the sun, I love sunshine. It's cold here at the moment. I'm taking the vitamin D tablets. But like sunshine, gardening. I love gardening.
Oh, cool.
I love being outdoors. I love my friends. Good food, delicious food, cooking, sharing a meal with friends, playing board games. Also pretty competitive at board games, I must say. But it's a good time. I did that a lot, actually. That was like my hobby as I was writing the album. Was
cool.
like going to this dorky games cafe right on the beach, and we just like hang out there and play board games for hours. It was the best. And during lockdown, it's been really good playing lots of board games. So yeah, quite into that.
Very cool, Tori. So you will release the album To Enjoy Is the Only Thing on June 25 through Partisan Records. How was working with them? It's a very good label.
Oh, awesome. Like so good. I still am like blown away that we are working together. Just because I'm like, yeah, they're such a great like bunch of people that I've met through them so far. And just like, yeah, just they're so passionate, and like they have a really cool roster of artists that they're working with, and like learning about the things that they're doing, and how they do it, and is like really interesting. They're also super supportive, and it's pretty unreal. Like them in combination with my Melbourne, my Australian and New Zealand label Paida, their management as well.
Cool.
They're just like awesome, and they get along. Like Partisan and Paida get along so well. Like love each other, which is like just such a dream experience. So I feel very supported and very comfy and very free to just like, you know, do whatever I want with this project, which has been really, really special.
It's actually very important that the management and the label and the artists are in the same channel to improve yourself and to reach more audience and get your music in other cities, in other countries, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm like, it's so cool that we can have this interview right now. And
yes, I know.
Like, you know, that's a thanks to them and to everyone's like work together, like, and like me being able to really trust them with my music, and yeah, it's beautiful.
I know. Tori, you are right now on tour. You are playing some gigs in Australia, but do you have plans to come to Mexico?
I hope so, yeah. I've been wanting to come to Mexico for like years. So I have a friend living there, and we met in Australia. We were living in the same apartment building, and she
cool.
went back home like maybe 5-6 years ago. I don't know how long ago. She's always like, come over, because she loved going to gigs, and that we kind of connected through music.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, hopefully next year, who knows?
I hope. I know there's a very big music scene in Australia. There's a lot of vibrant artists, vibrant musicians like you that need to come to Mexico. Not only Mexico, but the whole world. But I know that it's maybe easier to go to a festival in Europe or the UK or maybe the United States. But we are a few hours away from LA, right? If you go there, you can come here in a minute.
I'm so keen. I'm really keen to come to Mexico. Yeah.
Great. Tori, we will have the album To Enjoy Is the Only Thing of Maple Glider on June 25 on digital platforms. You will release it on vinyl?
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very exciting, right? To still can enjoy the experience to put the vinyl in a turntable and pop up the volume, have a great experience with that.
It's so good. It's just like a whole thing, isn't it? It's like you get it out, you get it in the packet, you get it out, you put it on, you're cooking dinner or whatever you're doing, and you're just like listening to the music. You got to flip the record. It's such a conscious way of listening to music, I feel. You know, you got to really want to do that. You want to listen to that record, and so you put it on. It's a beautiful way to appreciate music. I love it.
I hope that when you come to Mexico, you bring your vinyls and we can have your debut album as a Maple Glider here in Mexico.
Yeah, I'll bring a copy for you.
Excellent, great. So Maple, I'm really glad that we can have this conversation, and I looking forward to listen the album. Amazing songs right now. The singles are extraordinary. The latest video of swimming is amazing too, right? With the skeleton and black and white, lo-fi thing. It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, that was super funny to record. I was just like, it was me and my housemate Bridget. And that was all. We were the only two making that video, so I was just like carrying around this like gigantic skeleton, and she was on a Super 8 camera, but it was kind of dying, so she had to have a generator with her at all times. And she was walking around with this camera and a generator, and like I was walking around with this thing, and people were like, what are you doing?
Amazing experience. So looking forward to listening to the album and to have you here in Mexico to play live. And if you love beaches, I know in Australia are a lot of beautiful beaches, but in Mexico we have Cancun and Puerto Vallarta and Acapulco and other beaches that you will love.
Yes, I'm very, very excited.
Tori from Maple Glider, thank you so much for this chat with Rutas Alternas.
Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.